Hello guys and welcome to a very special videocast live from LA E3 2013. The final day of E3 is over. I'm tired. I think Aaron's tired as well.
Very tired, my friend. Glad it's over. It was exciting while it was going on, but yeah, I'm ready to rest.
Indeed we are. And obviously I'm here, Sim. I've got Aaron to my right here. I've got Calvin from Quarters to Geek. Calvin, how you doing, mate?
Yes, mate. I'm very well, thank you.
Tired?
Very tired. Mate, I'm knackered, but it's all good. It's E3.
Good stuff. So we'll kick off. It's obviously a roundup here we're doing of all the conferences and what everyone showed off. So we'll start off with, obviously, the first conference was Microsoft. So we'll start off with them. It was an interesting conference. There was stuff released before about DRM, always on connection sort of thing. And you have to connect once every 24 hours. They had some interesting stuff. I mean, they kicked off with what was kind of a surprise. Aaron, they had Metal Gear Solid 5. Kojima came up first.
Yeah, for all of 10 seconds, tried to speak his English. It didn't go down too well, but yeah, that trailer was amazing. I haven't actually seen the extended version yet, but I hear it's fucking awesome, and I can't wait for that game.
Yeah, good stuff. So Calvin, what do you think? I know you're not a huge MGS fan, from what I gather, but Kojima, MGS5, Xbox, it doesn't really go together, so I guess it was a bit of a surprise.
It was a huge statement, because don't forget, we hadn't seen Don Matric or anything yet. The show opened with MGS. The trailer itself was good, though.
Yeah, it was a decent trailer. And I think, as Aaron mentioned, there's a 9-minute trailer out, which you probably see on the website now. But I guess moving on from that, there was other stuff they showed. There was Rise, which is from Crytek. It looked like it was a Kinect focus and a bit of a hack and slash going on. Callum, what do you think?
Graphically, it looks nice.
Yeah.
We don't really know much about it yet, but like you say, I think it's going to be like shouting at your screen, commands and that kind of thing, which gamers don't seem to be all that excited about. The game itself looks alright, though.
Yeah. I think, well, it's Crytek at the end of the day, so it's it's going to look good. Aaron, what do you think?
See, initially I thought it was gonna, because like it fits a Kinect atmosphere, like he's holding his shield up, and like shields, arrows, blah blah blah. But when we went to the actual Microsoft booth, and saw people playing it, nobody seemed to be saying anything. So it might just be a normal game, but there's way too many QTE sequences in there for my liking. But yeah, it's pretty, apart from the little stutterings, the frame rate issues that were going on. But yeah, could be a good title.
Yeah, I think that's out this holiday season for the Xbox One as well. So that's an interesting title, I guess, to come out and launch towards the Xbox One. But I guess they showed off some other stuff as well. An interesting one, which I guess kind of going after Sony's Play, Create, Share stuff, was Project Spark. Interesting, right, Calvin?
What was that again?
Project Spark.
Yeah, what was Project Spark again? Nah, it looked alright, mate. It looked alright.
Yeah.
Minecraft wannabe, maybe? Huh? No? Is that not? It's not good enough to be Minecraft.
There's only one Minecraft, man.
Well, yeah, I guess it was. I guess they're kind of going after the whole Little Big Planet thing. They've seen it done well for Sony, so they want to have that on their Xbox One. More powerful console, more opportunities, makes sense. But it's not what we want as hardcore gamers. But I guess it's trying to satisfy a market out there.
I think we're going to see more creative games like that, where the user gets a bit of generating content, that kind of thing, coming up.
Yeah, definitely. But I guess we moved on and we saw Crimson Dragon as well, which had a bit of a trouble during the conference. Aaron, do you want to explain what trouble it had during the conference?
It was kind of like, we ain't got any sound, but it's a Japanese title. Shut them off, get them off, it's fine. Bring on EA.
It essentially was like that. It was a bit awkward, right, Calvin?
That was amazing, because you got dragons going around the screen, people in the audience going, caw, caw, and then as the dragons were firing, people were going, pew, 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 pew. That was hilarious, mate.
I mean, there was people behind where I was sitting going, Xbox sound on and all that sort of. it was a proper one of those internet meme moments, I guess, for like you get from E3. So it's pretty cool in that sense, I guess. And the same thing happened to Battlefield 4, but I guess that wasn't as funny because the guy who was showing it off looked extremely pissed off.
I mean, that was awkward. That was the most awkward thing I've ever seen at a conference in person.
It was really bad, Aaron.
Bad. Like, he was pissed Like, he was like,
Sorry, someone got fired.
he was like, how dare you do this to us? We're EA. Fuck you guys. Like, what's going on? And he was like, all right, well, guys, I guess that's it. And he tried to walk off. And whoever was behind the curtain was like, no, we'll sort it out. And he had to stand there for like a good 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think he actually said, well, he's like, I'll see you next time. So I guess he kind of was hinting towards the EA conference.
Yeah, and then they made a joke about it at EA, didn't they? Saying, we're going to show you the trailer with sound this time. And to be fair, I saw that guy later on in one of the booths. He had the same face, so maybe he just always looks pissed.
Well, maybe he does indeed. But I guess it kind of got to the point at the Microsoft conference then, where they announced the price. And they announced it was going to be, well, for first people in the UK, £429. Now, there was a lot of shock following that, Calvin. Do you think it was justified?
The shock was justified, yeah. The way they said the price as well, they're like, so $499, €499, £429. Like, the way they just roll it off the tongue. €499 or $499 is not the same thing for a start. And £429 is a lot of money for a new console, I think.
Yeah, I think it was mainly down to, I think the price difference, again, we'll come on to the PS4 in a minute. The price difference maybe comes from Connect. Aaron, what do you think?
Maybe, but still, the problem is, if the price difference does come from Connect, you can't then force people to have the Connect with it. Like, give them an option so you got a cheaper bundle. It will only encourage sales, you know what I'm saying? I think it's way too much. What are we going to do? I think people will still buy this console regardless. There's fanboys out there, so and Microsoft are playing off that.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I guess after that little bombshell they put out, they wanted to start kind of gloss over it. So they introduced Titanfall, which is a Respawn's title, and it's exclusive to the Xbox One. I guess trying to gloss over it, but to be fair, it did look amazing.
This is going to be the next big multiplayer game, I'll tell you now.
Wow, you heard it from Calvin first.
No, because I think, obviously it's made by the guys who did the first Call of Duty games, some of the original Medal of Honor games. They made the good FPSs that we're playing now, and people are getting bored of the reiteration of COD every year and that kind of thing. And I think this is just fresh, it's new, the whole Titans versus soldiers and everything. It could be big.
Yeah, we saw it as well, Aaron, and I think we were both left quite impressed.
Yeah, more importantly, it looks fun and it looks balanced as well. Obviously, when you're on ground, you're more mobile. And I saw in the showing, the mech was trying to aim at him, and it was like, no, I can't actually hit this guy. Let me just walk over him instead. And obviously, mechs are better in open spaces. So it looks like they're doing a good job. So I'm actually looking forward to it.
Okay. So that was, in a nutshell, I guess, the main points from Microsoft's conference. If you were to give it a score out of 10, because I love my scores out of 10. Oh, sorry, go on.
There's something else as well, Xbox Live. So they announced they're going to give 2 free games to Xbox Live Gold members, copying their PS Plus model, but it's good shout.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I messed that one out. Yeah, so they're going to introduce the PS Plus style model to Xbox Live, which is, as you pointed out, it is a good thing. But overall, because I like giving scores out of 10, guys, if you were to give a score out of 10 to the Xbox conference, what would you give it? Calvin?
There and then, I would have said probably a 9 out of 10, because they did everything that we wanted them to do. They talked games. They talked a little bit about what they're going to do with Xbox Live. I don't think they could have done anything better. They announced the date and the price. We don't like the price, but they announced it. So yeah, I would say 9 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough. Aaron, you're going to be a bit harsh, or are you going to be even nicer?
Nicer? Probably an 8 out of 10. It was actually a good showing. When I left, I was like, all right, cool. Games. Price hindered that a little bit when I was like, wait a minute, $429, that's a bit expensive. But yeah, pretty good conference. So.
Yeah, I agree. I think the 429 was the killer point. Is the fact that when the PS3 came out, it got sort of lambasted for its price. So I guess people aren't happy in the same vein. But you guys are right. There was games. I think we forgot likes of Dead Rising as well that were there. So I think in terms of that, it was good. I think I'm going to go with Aaron's score. I think an 8 is a solid score for that conference. But then later on, we went to Sony's conference as well. In between, there was EA's conference, but we'll move on to third parties later. We'll stay with Sony. again, it was it was an interesting conference. It was one of those. I guess the key moment to hit was the whole Jack Tretton coming on stage during the middle of the conference and saying, "We don't have DRM, we don't have this, we don't have that." Sort of hitting on every point that the Xbox One and Microsoft had announced previously. I think that was the main thing to come out of the conference. To be fair.
That was amazing. I've never seen an audience reaction like that. We've been to a few conferences now, and everyone was in uproar. People were standing up and shit. You know, hip hop gamer almost threw his belt away. You know what I mean? It was crazy, but yeah, that was reactive, wasn't it? Because obviously Microsoft had the balls to go first. They released their price and everything, and then Sony came out like, "Look, we're cheaper. We're not going to do this. We're not going to do that. Everything you hate about Xbox, we're not going to do it."
Yeah, I think basically that was it. Aaron, you were super excited sitting next to me.
You know, you use the word reactive, and I think that is on two levels as well. Like, because when Jack came out, like, I think he was surprised at the response that he got as well. Like, he was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" So like, it was just immense, and for good reason, to be honest. Who doesn't want a PS4 now?
Well, I guess it was all down to the fact that we can own our games, kind of thing. we buy and pay for it, and we don't just license them. We own the games, which is the key point. So I guess that's why, you know, the people in the crowd, who some of them were, as Calvin pointed out, hip hop game with his belt. He was really happy about it. But yeah, I guess that was the main thing to come out of it. But they did announce the price. They showed off the console as well. I mean, the console for me reminded me of the PS2. What do you think, Calvin?
It reminded me of the Xbox One. Really? Just squashed, like someone on Reddit or Twitter said, so the Xbox One is bold and the PS4 is italic. That pretty much sums it up for me, man.
Yeah, I guess I will. And we saw it, I think, after the conference in the flesh, so to speak, Aaron. I thought it looked beautiful.
You saw it in the flesh. I still haven't seen this thing.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I still haven't seen this thing. I've been traveling all over the show floor. Okay, cool. Okay, that will work. But like, I'm a disappoint people. I don't think it's that pretty. I still think it's a little bit tacky with the whole slanted thing. I'm not feeling that vibe. And it looked like the USB. Obviously, you saw it close up, but it looked like the USB ports for maybe charging the pads or whatever. It's like in the crease between the two parts. It's like, it was a bit difficult.
Sorry.
Yeah, they are in the crevice, and there's only two on the front and one on the back. So I don't know how you're going to charge 4 controllers at once.
It might prove difficult, but I guess for me, I think it was seeing it in the flesh, so to speak. Again, it was. I thought it looked really good. I didn't really. Again, maybe I missed the point. Like you guys mentioned, the USBs and stuff. I kind of missed the point there. But in terms of its design and the size of it compared to the other consoles, it's a very sleek-looking design, I think. But again, that's my opinion, I guess, at the end of the day. But the price, so $349 in the UK. That's not a bad price, Calvin.
I think that's the ideal price. That's the exact same price it should be.
Aaron, what do you reckon?
Give me one now. Need I say more? Want.
Cool, but again, apart from that, there were games there, believe it or not. The new stuff they announced was, I guess, the one stood out was The Order 1886, which is a title developed by Ready at Dawn. There was a CGI trailer, so there wasn't gameplay, but it gave you a feel of what to expect. Cam, what do you think?
Kind of alternative reality London, a bit steampunky. I really liked that. I thought it looked cool, man.
I think reading reactions on Twitter and forums and stuff, people were calling it Steampunk of Wars or something like that. So, I don't know. It looked decent to me, to be fair.
I think you're probably going to be hunting down like vampires and werewolves. And yeah, we don't know what type of game this is though. Like, they were brandishing guns. Is it a shooter? Is it some kind of action adventure? We don't know. Like, I want to find out before. But the premise looks nice. Well, the trailer looked nice. But I'd like to see more of the game first.
I think the key there was that there were so many new IPs in the Sony conference. Like, Microsoft had a lot of exclusives and a lot of good exclusives that I want, but Sony had a lot of new IPs that we don't really know much about yet. So, you know, that could sway the balance of things. Yeah.
And apart from new IPs, I guess there was a big focus on indie titles as well. I mean, they came out and showed us about 7 or 8 indie titles. Of which one for me stood out was it Octodad, which looked really weird, but it looked bloody hilarious. Yeah, in terms of indie titles, what do you think, Calvin?
It's good that they show emphasis and they had indie titles on their stage at E3. That's a big deal, man. Especially since for Microsoft, you can't self-publish an indie game.
Which is another point that Jack mentioned in the actual conference as well, and he got a bit of a whoop for that as well. But in terms of indie games, I mean, from what they showed on the stage, what stood out as your favorite, Aaron?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge indie game player, so it didn't really bother me. But I can see what they were trying to do. They were trying to suck it to Microsoft basically and say, well, here we go. We got all these indie games. You can publish whatever the fuck you want. Come to our console, which is great. It's great for the ecosystem and the console itself. So good on Sony.
And there was focus on the titles they showed back in February as well. So there was Killzone, Infamous Second Son, Knack. I guess Killzone's coming out launch. Drive Club as well, which again they showed in February that's coming out at launch. Sadly, Infamous isn't coming out at launch, but Knack is. In terms of what they've announced so far, I'm guessing, is it enticing you to get a PS4, Calvin?
Infamous Second Son looked good. I think overall, though, like I say, the exclusive on Xbox appealed to me more than the ones on PS4. But stuff like The Order and things that we don't really know much about that could entice me later on down the line.
Fair play. And Aaron, again, same question, I guess.
Okay, so I honestly think that the titles that that Microsoft brought out appealed more to me, just like Calvin. I actually thought the games they showed on the Sony conference were kind of weak, excluding Second Son, because that looks gorgeous and well animated. But like is it Drive Club? Not interested. Killzone,
I hate.
I'm trying not to. It just seems like more Killzone to me with a different color scheme. So I wasn't too upbeat about it, but I also understand that a lot of the titles that were on Microsoft's thing are gonna release on the Sony console as well. So really, it's not a matter of the games they showed; it's a matter of which is the better console.
And more importantly for me and you is most of the exclusives for Xbox One and PS4 are coming to PC. So even if it's not coming to the other console, we'll be able to play it on PC.
That's another good point.
Two PC lovers by either side of me, so I'm kind of swamped here. But at the conference, they also showed Batman Arkham Origins, and they showed a few titles PS3, so illustrating that PS3 is still supported. And I guess Microsoft showed that in the case of that releasing a new Xbox 360, which is a bit weird, I guess, at this point. But Sony is still supporting the PS3, GT6, Beyond Two Souls, and The Last of Us, which is out now, I guess.
So you know why they're releasing a new 360? For those people that don't have internet. They've got to buy a 360 apparently.
Fair point.
Or if you live in Poland or Japan, it's the only way you're playing Microsoft games.
That is true. That is a fair point. That is a fair point. But okay, so sort of wrapping up Sony's conference, I guess again the main point came out. They announced the price, which is cheaper than the Xbox One, and they announced all the stuff that no DRM and online stuff. Again, huge positives for the gamer. Out of 10, Aaron, we'll start with you this time. What did you give Sony's conference?
I'm gonna give them a 9, even though I don't think the software that was shown was better than Microsoft's. I feel that they gave consumers what they wanted without the DRM. They gave developers what they wanted with the whole indie scene, and you can't really argue with that, to be honest.
Fair enough. 9 out of 10. Calvin?
At the time, I was blown away, but looking at it now, I think if you take into account a lot of it was reactionary to Microsoft, and they spent a lot of time talking about entertainment, which bored the hell out of me. I wasn't at E3 to learn about their TV strategy, their movie strategy, etc. And who uses Sony Video Network thing anyway?
Not me.
Yeah. I would say 8 out of 10, because they did have a lot of games, like I said, a lot of new IPs, but they bored me to death with entertainment.
Fair enough.
It wasn't that long. Like, it was like six minutes maybe.
Well,
Who did I go to? Go down.
It was like 6 minutes, dude. It wasn't a lot. They had to address it. They can't just leave it. Microsoft was plowing us with that information. You get what I'm saying? So they have to address it a little bit, because obviously there's people who still want to watch those services on these consoles. They can't just ignore that part of the market. It's not good for them.
Sure, but that's why Microsoft got it out of the way early, and they took a lot of slack for that, but made their E3 a lot better.
Fair enough. We're not going to go off podcast of fight here, so I'll come in with my score. I think, again, I think Callum makes a fair point. It was most of it was reactive to what kind of happened before in terms of what Microsoft announced with the Xbox One. I would have liked to see more games. I think that was what was lacking a bit from Sony's conference, whereas Xbox One's conference was like hit, game after game after game after game. So I think an 8 out of 10 for Sony is also a fair score, I think. But we'll move on to Nintendo, who weren't at E3 with a conference, but they were at 7 a.m. in the morning over here in LA. They were here with a Nintendo Direct, which was quite badly streamed. But Aaron, you were awake to watch it. Nothing particularly great, in my opinion, that was announced. But again, you're kind of our resident Nintendo fan. You know, like you like this franchises. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I was doing my nutting, seriously. First of all, because of the stream, I couldn't, like, a lot of the, I think I missed, like, the first half of the stream, and I had to go back and, like, find videos around the place, because I just couldn't watch it. Wind Waker, while it looks pretty and nice, is a rehash of a game I've played to death already. It might be great for people who haven't experienced it, because it's a great title, but for the rest of us, you know, oh well. I'm not a big Smash Brothers fan, but I understand it's huge. Same goes for Mario Kart, or the newer Mario Karts, because I'm a big fan of the old Mario Karts, just not the new stuff. But I understand that there's a big market for that, but they're not coming until 2014, are they? So there's a big fat gap in 2013 where if you own a Wii U, what are you doing exactly? I'm playing Monster Hunter. I don't know what the rest of the population is doing.
Yeah, again, fair points. I guess most of the titles seems like they're coming out in 2014. The only ones that coming out this year were Super Mario 3D World, and I guess Bayonetta. No, I think Bayonetta was next year as well. So again, there's not much that's coming out here apart from Wind Waker as well, HD. Calvin, what do you reckon?
I thought the conference was pretty meh. And like you guys say, the games are coming out late. The ones that are coming out this year is like October, November. We're going to have the PS4 maybe, and we're going to have the Xbox One around that time. I don't think it's looking good for Nintendo. After the conference, I was like, really meh. I have had hands-on since and thought the games look pretty damn good, but it's still not looking good overall for them.
No, I'd agree.
I would like to throw in that even though there's going to be a huge dry spell, I still wouldn't count Nintendo out. We have to remember the 3DS had an awful launch and it wasn't selling for a long, long time. And then all of a sudden it was bam, 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 bam titles. And it seems like we're going to get that in 2014 and it might take off then. Like, as we were just discussing, the Xbox One is pretty darn expensive. If you can get a Wii U and still have fun with it, why not?
No fair point. And they had the 3DS, which is the huge seller for them in terms of their titles. And they've got the new Zelda coming to the 3DS as well. But in terms of the Wii U, it's a bit of a struggle.
By the way, where the fuck was the new Zelda? No, the new Zelda. Like, I mean, I'm excited as anybody else for Link to the Past 2, but where was the one that we got showed last E3? Like, apparently they were tempted to bring it out and show it, but decided to hold on to that card. Like, maybe they feel like they need to reserve something for when the new consoles come out, so they can be like, bam, here we go, Zelda, buy a Wii U. But I would have loved to have seen it this year, man.
Yeah, I guess I think you're probably right. They're probably saving it for maybe Gamescom, maybe when the new consoles actually are out, to say, okay, we have a Zelda out, to kind of match this, and a console's cheaper now as well. But
that's the point. People were expecting a price cut. Maybe you're on something there. Maybe they're saving that for when the consoles come out. Price cut on the Wii U plus a new Zelda game. Who's going to buy Xbox One then? I don't know.
Probably all three of us, to be fair. But yeah, I guess we can't really rate Nintendo. Actually, no, we can rate Nintendo's their Direct. Out of 10, I guess I'll start off this time. It was okay in terms of some of the first party titles. I guess Smash Brothers, as you mentioned, is huge. It's got a huge following. And there's Super Mario 3D World, which is coming on the back of the 3DS release, which is a very good game. It's still decent, and they've got Bayonetta 2 coming, which is going to be just looking incredible. I'm not going to be too harsh. I'll probably go for like a 6 out of 10. Cameron, where are you at with your score?
As usual for Nintendo, they had lackluster third-party support. The first-party titles were not the ones that their fans wanted to see. and it was 7 o'clock in the morning. It was poorly streamed. No, I won't take that into account. I think it was pretty average, 5 out of 10.
Aaron?
As a Nintendo supporter, I'm going to be pretty generous. I feel like we all know that Mario Kart and Smash Bros is going to sell by the bucket load. So announcing those things is always good. As our fellow Japanese nut Adrian will know, I'm a big fan of Bayonetta.
You watching Adrian?
Yeah, Bayonetta is going to be amazing. Good to see more gameplay on that. And I'm really looking forward to X, whatever they're going to call it. Xenoblade was a gorgeous game, and it was only held back by the fact that the Wii didn't have the power to display this beautiful world they had created. Hopefully the Wii U will. So I'm going to give him a 7.
That's very generous. That's a very generous score there. Okay, so it seems like Sony and Microsoft, I'll get into sort of high scores, which is kind of expected with the next gen stuff. But let's go on to the third party stuff. I think the third party stuff was actually pretty impressive, especially EA. I thought their lineup and their conference is the strongest they've had in a while. I mean, they came out in the conference, they said 11 titles, all Xbox One, PS4, no mention of Wii U, because it's EA obviously. But it was bang, 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 sort of title after title. Even if you're not interested in the sports title, I guess there was stuff for other types of players there, Calvin.
Yep, specifically DICE. They're working on a new Mirror's Edge now, which is not Mirror's Edge 2. It's just going to be a new Mirror's Edge apparently. And after that, they're going to do a new Star Wars Battlefront. Those two games right there bring the conference right up. The EA Sports stuff did go on a bit long, but people love EA Sports. I fell asleep at that point. I think there's about 5 or 6 celebrity endorsements through that as well. Oh, and Drake. Don't forget Drake.
We all love Drake. He just came out randomly out. He was like, "Hi, I'm Drake. FIFA."
I like FIFA. Drake likes FIFA.
He does like FIFA. But I guess if you're looking at the sports side of things, there was FIFA 14, NBA Live, which has been away for a few years, coming back looking really good. And there's Madden as well, which is looking, again, next gen tech behind it. We saw a bit all 3 of them in action, and UFC as well. So that's 4, I guess. Quite impressive, Aaron, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think they underplayed NBA 2K4 a little bit. We got to see a bit more of that.
Not 2K. Live.
Yeah, live, sorry.
What, was you impressed by the bounce tech, yeah?
I was. It's actually okay. Why are you so sarcastic with that? Because it's immense. It's immense technology. I mean, 2K are getting props for what they've done for animation in that sport and that genre. So why can we not commend EA for the?
Go ahead, commend them.
I think he has.
Yeah, pushing the tech, like the way it will fluidly moving from animation to animation, mid animation. It's stunning, and you have to see it to kind of believe it. But yeah, Mirror's Edge. That's all I care about. Fuck you all.
Yes, Mirror's Edge. Not fuck you all, because we do love you. So.
Battlefield 4. That looks amazing. I know it's more Battlefield, but the new destructive environments are a lot better than they've ever been before. And I think we all had a play on that. I know we did. Did you?
No, I didn't get a chance. I left Aaron to his own devices on that, but Aaron was quite impressed.
Yeah, how can you not be impressed by Battlefield? It's Battlefield, it's a really good game. The scale of everything now is just blown out of proportion, and as Calvin was saying, the destructibility is amazing as well. So, good title. Yeah.
And you also had Need for Speed Rivals, which is running off the Frostbite 3 engine. I know Aaron's not a fan, but we didn't play it, but we saw it running, and it looked absolutely superb. I mean, I couldn't really see running off the Frostbite 3 engine, which is a fantastic engine in itself, applying that to a racing game. I thought it was quite impressive. Calvin, did you get a chance to look at it?
Yeah, I played it. It felt very smooth. I enjoyed it. I don't really like non-Criterion racing games, but this one felt really good actually. And I like that they're sticking everything with Frostbite 3 engine and trying to just keep that engine as the core engine and build on top of that, and everything else can use it. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. It's a new studio. I think there was some people from Criterion, some other people as well. It's called Ghost. There was a couple of people that worked on the previous Need for Speed games and Burnout games, so it's got some pedigree behind it. But I guess another big one from EA was obviously Titanfall, which we kind of mentioned, and we saw gameplay of it. Again, can't speak highly enough. Like you saw the whole game of show stuff on by its door. It was very impressive.
It's like Aaron said about the balance, because like you would think Titans, big mechs versus soldiers might be a bit imbalanced, but then you see the soldiers like jumping on the back of the Titans and ripping the wires apart and things. Then you've got other Titans ripping soldiers out of other Titans, all kinds of shit going on. It was wicked, and me personally, I've been waiting to see what Respawn's going to do for a long time now. So it was all good.
Very impressive indeed. And I think you mentioned it looks like it's going to be very balanced. Those parts in the gameplay demo that was showing there, it's like even if your mech gets sort of busted up, you can eject out and sort of fly on top of another mech and just take it out. That looks amazing.
It did. I think that's the part that caught everybody's attention. I was like, whoa, what the fuck just happened there? But I think we should commend, like, I know we've only seen one level, but I think we should commend the level design as well. It seems very good. It's balanced in a way that enables the mech and the foot soldier to be balanced. So, like, thumbs up to Respawn.
And it's an Xbox One exclusive title. It's not coming to PS4, which is interesting.
It's not coming to PS4 yet. I did have a little chat with Vincent Pella.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He said, I can't announce anything yet.
So it's coming to PS4 then eventually. But that's cool. So we had EA, Ubisoft. We had as well on the side. Had their comments on the side as well. They had most of the stuff that we know: Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed 4. There was a couple of sort of new titles announced there. I guess there was one called The Division. I'm not sure if anyone over here has a chance to had a look at it yet, but it looked damn impressive. Calvin, did you see it?
Yeah, me and Aaron was watching the video, and we're seeing like a standard third-person shooter. It looks quite interesting. And then there's this oh shit moment when we realized it was open world. There's other players in that persistent world environment. That is kind of cool. Yeah. As for Ubisoft as a conference, no one really expects Ubisoft's conference to be good. It's always the weakest of them.
Sorry.
That's an ouch.
No, it's true. It's true, but I guess The Division was the one that sort of there was a lot of buzz around it in terms of the show floor as well. Everyone's saying, "Oh yeah, it looks great." And me and Gary were looking at it in terms of the video and screenshots and stuff. We're like, this almost looks kind of real in terms of screenshots and stuff. But then we watched the video, it's like, okay, this is gameplay. Impressive.
Yeah, as Calvin was saying, like when it first came on, I was expecting like a futuristic Splinter Cell-esque title. And I thought the guy was actually monologuing to himself. And you get to the part where another group starts throwing grenades at them. And then the girl's like, oh, yeah, you got a grenade next to you. It's really, like, nonchalant. I'm like, wait, this is awful voice acting. Like, a grenade's about to blow up next to you. And I was like, wait, oh, they're actually co-oping. And then it shows you the rest of the map. And it shows you another team bumping into them, PvPing. I think it could be a great game if they get it down.
Definitely. And they had the, obviously, again, you expect Just Dance 2014, which is going to be Game of the Year, guys. You heard it here first. It was going to be absolutely amazing.
Only if I can play as Usher.
Well, we'll try and request that for you. But yeah, you had lots of Watch Dogs, which, again, they showed off at the Sony conference as well, which looked, in terms of its looks and in terms of the gameplay stuff, it's actually the best that I've seen of it in terms of a showing at a conference or even outside of a conference. Watch Dogs, what do you think, Calvin?
I was actually quite disappointed this year because there wasn't hands-on available for it. In the hands-off demos, they were showing the same as what they showed in the conference, but what they did show was good, and it was new, and it was a different aspect to what we've seen before. But let us play with it.
Yeah, I think we need to play with it to totally understand how it works. But Assassin's Creed 4 was there as well, Black Flag. We've sort of seen stuff before from it. The demo at the Sony conference wasn't particularly great. There was a lot of stuttering going on. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. Aaron, are you in already?
Do I care about Assassin's Creed anymore? That's the question. I'm done with Assassin's Creed. I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm done with that series. And then Watch Dogs coming out, and it seems more Assassin's Creedy, and there's worries that the whole hacking element isn't going to be in depth enough, and it's like, well, what really are you showing me, Ubisoft?
Fair enough indeed, I guess. I guess other third-party stuff we saw stuff from Warner Brothers as well, Dying Light, my personal favorite, Batman Arkham Origins, obviously. again, I think you pointed out to me, it's kind of the same as Arkham City, but it's not really a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. Okay, so when he started off fighting, I was like, you reusing the same animations, what's going on? And then I thought, well, Arkham City wasn't a bad game. This isn't a bad thing, like, you know. Obviously, the best thing about it is obviously you're going to get to see more of the other characters in the Batman universe, and you're going to get to meet them for the first time. When we got shown the Joker, I don't know who's doing the voice for him now, but it was a very good impersonation of Hamill. So yeah, all good.
Yeah. It looked pretty good to me, to be fair. I'm a huge Batman fan, so I'm already in. Calvin, have you seen much of Origins, and what do you think?
I've not checked out much of the Warner Bros. Stuff yet, but the crowd did go crazy when Joker came on screen. I was like, oh shit, Joker's in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was like a new title, so Techland partnering with Warner Brothers, Dying Light, which we kind of saw as Mirror's Edge meets Dead Island meets Dead Rising kind of thing. Have you seen much of that, Calvin?
I've not. No, I've only heard what you two have told me about it. So.
Well, basically what it is what I said. But it was on PS4, Xbox One, PC. Very impressive. So imagine Dead Island, but beefed up in terms of its visuals, and the mechanics actually working well this time.
So Dead Island, but a good game. That could work, mate.
True, I agree, and a bit of Mirror's Edge splashed in because there's a lot of free running because you're a character who's called a runner. You're part of like a crew, surviving in this world full of zombies. And what impressed me as well, apart from the sort of leaves playing in the background, the wind and everything playing, was the amount of zombies they had on screen was very impressive, Aaron.
It was like the actual fidelity of the graphics and like how many the crowd of zombies was definitely impressive. I was actually expecting a more realistic zombie game, but then he starts showing off like all the weapons, and he starts slicing them with a combat knife, and heads fly, and he jumps off a building and uses a hammer and creates a shockwave. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, fair enough. I see what type of game this is, but it looks fun. And they seem to have like a stealth element where when it becomes nighttime, they have what they called?
I can't remember what they're actually called, but they were like basically beasts that stalk around. And you basically can't go in combat with them, but you have to run away from them and get back to it. It looked very panicky.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was parts where he was running straight ahead, and he'd look back and it would slow down, and then you'd see like zombies leaping over shit, which kind of added to the suspense a bit more. But yeah, it's looking really, really good. And we were showing it on PC, so that's always good in my book, right, Ariel?
But yeah, how does that sound to you, Calvin, in terms of like how it works? You haven't seen it yet, but you know, all that combined together.
It sounds interesting, but it really does sound like one of those things I need to see with my own eyes to kind of figure it out.
And we saw Warner's Mad Max as well, which is kind of just remind me of like Just Cause, because it's the same guys, but in a desert environment with loads of shiny graphics. That's what it was, really, wasn't it?
You say shiny graphics, but I was really underwhelmed by this title. They seem to be harping on about like vehicle customization, how when you customize your vehicle, it changes the feeling and the handling and how powerful it is and blah, blah, blah. But then you take it out and you greet it with a barren desert, and it seems like the whole game is going to be in a barren desert. And I'm like, really? That's really not what I want. And it had a bit of graphical issues. There was quite a bit of environment clipping. The draw distance was kind of shocking. So yeah, a bit underwhelmed.
Yeah, it's an interesting, like, it was announced at the Sony conference, Calvin, and it wasn't something that we were really expecting. I mean, when it was first sort of shown, that I thought Fallout 4, yeah, but it wasn't. It was Mad Max.
I heard that. I was like, no, there's no Fallout 4. No, sorry. But the trailer looked amazing, didn't it? Yeah. When it came on at the conference, I was like, wow, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting title, but I guess we need to see more of it. We saw a gameplay demo. It showed off, as you said, the vehicle customization, weapons as well. Again, it's the guys who made Just Cause 2. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be over the top. That's what we're kind of expecting, but in a Mad Max environment. In terms of third-party stuff, I guess the extra stuff we saw, which one title I know Aaron was really excited about, and I know Calvin's really excited about as well, is The Witcher 3. CD Projekt Red. We saw the gameplay. Again, this is PS4, Xbox One, PC. Calvin?
I think after completing Witcher 2 for the second time, my biggest thing was, if only this was open world. It felt like I finished the game, I can't go back into my world, and it's over for me. Everything's locked off. I hate that feeling. So with number 3, the biggest emphasis for them is after storyline is open world, and it's going to feel a lot less linear. You're going to be able to go where you want, do what you want. From what I've seen in the presentation, like the way they introduce side quests as part of your main quest, everything's just so fluid. It looks great, man. Yeah. And of course, graphically, it looks top notch.
Yeah, I think again, apart from the visuals, what stood out is, as you mentioned, the open world nature. In terms of comparing it to Witcher 2, I know you're a deep fan. Your love for CD Projekt Red runs deep. Aaron, go on.
Not to harp on about open world again, but it is a major factor. And I think the guy was saying like the number one feature of our game is obviously the story, but the open world enables that, and it's so true. Like there were sections where he'd just wander off and he'd bump into a random bit of a tree and use his like little sensors and start a whole complete new quest, and it's up to you if you want to carry on that little side quest, or you can go back to the main quest, and it just seems like there's going to be shit tons to do. The whole day-night environmental cycle was beautiful as well. The idea that now when you attack monsters, when you attack them, in what weather you attack them, it matters. So if you attack a wolf in the full moon, obviously it's going to be harder to take down. More fluid combat. The animations definitely are improved. All right, I'm harping on a bit too much.
No, it was great. It was great. I think you basically touched upon what we're all thinking. Kind of, it looked amazing. Open world nature of it, and new enemies. The sort of variation of everything. Just everything, even from that short gameplay, just looked like it was going to be something special.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So unless there's any extra third-party stuff you guys want to mention as a special mention.
Yeah, actually, I played a game demo from CCP. They've been playing around with the Oculus Rift in their 20% time, which is like similar to Google. Their employees get free time to work on their own projects. And this is, I've got an Oculus Rift now. I backed them on Kickstarter. I've played a lot of demos, and this one from CCP is the best I've played so far. You're in a spaceship. You can look. You've got a glass window around you, so you can look all the way around you. And it's just a simple mechanic of holding down your missile on your controller, aiming with your head, and as soon as you lock on, let go of the controller, and the missile's fired. A simple mechanic just makes. If that was in a full game, it would just be amazing. Because it's getting you to use the full vision of the Oculus Rift. And for me, it didn't make me feel motion sickness, which I do get from a lot of the other demos that are poorly implemented. I just want to see that as a proper game.
Okay, fair enough. Lot love for the Oculus Rift there from Calvin. Aaron, is there any other third-party stuff that you want to mention that you had a look at? I know we played a lot of pairs, but that'll be covered in a different video cast. Anything else you want to mention?
I think we should mention Dark Souls. There seems to be there was a lot of fear because I think there was a mistranslation or something, and it was Edge. Yep. That the game wasn't going to be as difficult. That's a lie. It's more difficult than the other one. I think that they were doing a competition in their little section on the floor where they'd give away a free T-shirt if you could beat this Mirror Knight. I'm not sure if they've showed a trailer. I think they've actually showed a trailer of it. And nobody actually managed to beat the bastard.
Of course not, yeah.
Yeah, so nobody got that lovely T-shirt. So it's just as difficult. They seem to be adding a heap of new additions. The way they've done character selection now is instead of picking your class, like there was set classes before, and once you were in it, you were kind of locked into it, sort of. Now,
yeah, you were tied in basically.
Yeah. Now, basically, you're given a character, and they ask you a few questions like, what you're interested in, do you want to use magic, blah blah blah, and then you just develop your character straight there from scratch, and that decides what class of character you are instead of that the predefined. But there was a lot of questions that they couldn't answer, like they don't know if covenants are in the game yet, but they think it might be. Like there's hints around. There's loads of like secret passages. It's like it's shaping up really good, and you should be excited for it.
Okay, so a lot love for Dark Souls 2 there. So I guess that sort of hits on everything in terms of the conferences, third-party stuff as well. It's tough. but we're gonna have to pick a game of show here, guys. So I'm gonna start with Aaron because I kind of got a feeling he knows what he's gonna go for here.
FIFA 14. Right? Gary? Yeah. 14? No. Witcher 3, of course. Those guys love their project so much, and it just shows like it oozes quality, and I respect that. And I love RPG games, and they've made my perfect game for me. I hope it lives up to my expectations. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Witcher 3. Calvin, are you gonna go down a similar route?
I think that's well deserved. Like taking Witcher 2 and Skyrim, putting them together, Witcher 3, amazing. But mine is going to be Titanfall because I'm a big multiplayer gamer, and I think I'm going to spend a lot of time playing that game.
Okay, so Titanfall, Witcher, it's a difficult one. It is a really difficult one. I'd like to give a special mention to Dying Light. I thought that was the surprise of E3 for me. I think that's going to be one to keep an eye out. But I'm going to have to go with Aaron over here. I think The Witcher, or the Titanfall, does come really close. I think The Witcher 3, the love of the genre of gaming comes through from these guys. I mean, they even gave us free codes for like the first Witcher and the second Witcher. So I mean, it shows they want you to play their game, and they've listened to fans. Looks absolutely stunning. Like some of the facial detail was just insane, and the environments and everything like that. It was just looks fantastic. Can't wait to see more and eventually play it. So I guess it comes down to that really. But
in that case, I'll give it to Witcher 3 as well. So it's unanimous.
So Witcher 3, there we go. We all went for that title, I guess. So that's our game of show. But that's it for E3 2013. Next up is Gamescom and more hard work. Aaron, are you ready?
I will be by the time Gamescom's come. Give me, was it a month and a half, and I'll be there. I'll be ready.
Calvin, are you ready?
A month and a half of sleep, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I look out for more video content.